very good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this very exciting panel discussion on all things OTT in Southeast Asia. My name is Sudhanshu Saxena, and I lead the supply and DSP partnerships for InMobi across Southeast Asia. And I'm joined today by three guests and friends who represent some of the most exciting, fast-growing OTT organizations in Southeast Asia today. Joining us today is Andy Sun, who is the GM of International Programmatic Advertising Business at IQIYI. Also joining us is Arian. Arian is the country head at Viu Philippines. And we're also joined by Emily, who heads the sales for FPT Play in Vietnam. So that's a dream panel, isn't it? Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today. It's an absolute privilege to be your host. We have heard that some incredible facts about the growth of mobile video in the previous session. It is, of course, no surprise that a vast majority of this growth is fueled by OTT. According to reports by Media Partners Asia, the total time spent streaming on mobile has grown by 60% in Southeast Asia. And what we understand is while this continues to grow, this is pretty much a permanent change. So it is going to stay here. Now, I want to hear from our guests. And let me start by understanding some trends from our guests. So my first question here would be, what are the most interesting user consumption patterns that you're observing? It is given that more and more consumers got glued to the screen, consuming OTT content. So what sort of acceleration did you see in terms of new users or time spent on your platform in the past year? InMobi, of course, saw almost 300%. To be honest, I think it's 286% jump in consumption immediately after the pandemic surfaced. Would be great to have your thoughts on that. And then why don't we start with that? Could you share your thoughts on the most interesting user consumption trends that you saw at Viu?
Yeah, sure. Great. Thanks so much, guys. And thank you for allowing Viu to share our insights today. You guys are great partners to us. But really some of the most interesting things, I mean, ultimately it starts, actually not even just in the last year, it really starts with our foundation and working and understanding local content movements is the heart of what we do at Viu. So we have our local teams. We're investing in local talent. We're really embedded in the communities. So not just, so if you guys are familiar with the K-drama world, there's huge communities in the Philippines prior to lockdown have been meeting regularly for these sessions, but now have all transferred online. But really some of the ways that we've integrated ourselves into these communities has allowed us to use not only the insights from our experiences with them, but also the data from our platform. And using that data has enabled us to make decisions on developing the right content to increase engagement. So it's not just an increased engagement because we're all in lockdown, because we need to be a sustainable business beyond what's currently happening. Additionally, we focus highly anticipated simulcast content. So the top Korean content, which is most titles now are exclusive to us on Viu. We launched last year one of the highly anticipated World of Married Couple, True Beauty, Mouse. These strategies of really embedding into the local communities and understanding, using data to understand what they're looking for has enabled us to grow our subscription base. In the last year, actually quoting the same study from Media Partners Asia, we grew 47%. Viu in the Philippines is now #1 in terms of total users, and we rank second in both paid subscribers and streaming minutes among the video streaming companies across Southeast Asia.
That's great. Wonderful, Arian. And we would love to hear your thoughts as well.
Yeah, we achieved a significant user growth in the first quarter of this year compared with last year. And I think pandemic maybe is one of the reasons. But I went to see, IQIYI International is a new app. We just launched in the July of 2019. Yes. So as a newcomer, we have a great demographic dividend versus other players. So we can see we achieved a very rapid user growth because we one of the reasons is we are a newcomer and we enjoyed the demographic dividend. And also I want to see another reason is contributed by the our Chinese content. Chinese content is getting more and more popular in Southeast Asia. In a survey in 2017 by a third party, most of Southeast Asia users were not familiar with Chinese content, except for some Hong Kong Kung Fu movies. But in the same survey in 2020, some Chinese content like some Chinese variety shows, Chinese costume dramas have grown in stature, such as the Youth with U3, which is an online, which is an original variety show produced by IQIYI and has been ranking in the top list in Thailand and other Southeast Asian markets. Yeah.
Great to see actually the growth of Chinese and Korean content as Arian was talking about earlier. That's wonderful, Andy. Thanks for that. Emily, what's happening in Vietnam? I would love to hear your thoughts on how you're seeing things happening at FPT. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Subrahan, for the question. About our side, FPT Play, top of mind buying license. The movie, TV show, anime from some countries like China, Korea, and Thailand. And everyone now really want to watch the movie and to be the first people watch the movie is talk about on the news. And we top of mind for this for simulcast, so the user really want to watch the movie with the same time with host country. So it's our focus. We need to focus for this kind of content. And last time when COVID-19 started and our traffic and our user increased dramatically, it's almost 30%. And they spend much more time as usual. Like in the past, they spend more than 1 hour to watch. But during COVID-19, they spend much more time, like 1 hour and a half. So it's I think it's the point to focus and study about content.
Lovely. These are some really interesting and honestly mind-boggling stats as well. Let's now move our focus to screens this consumption is happening. Just to start on with some certain stats, I think there are many reports who are suggesting that 80% of OTT organizations say majority of the consumption is happening on mobile. International players, in fact, on the other side, are putting out mobile-specific plans for Southeast Asia market. More than 650 billion minutes have been spent streaming mobile content in Southeast Asia in a quarter alone last year. I would like to ask our guests how critical a pillar is mobile or smartphone for you users. Now, that's from a user perspective. Would also love to hear how has mobile guided the user experience, product, and business strategy at your end as well?
Yeah, just like you said, mobile is so important. It has already occupied the majority of our total users. IQIYI is very capable it's very capable of adapting and matching for different screen sizes from various mobile phones and different bitrate, like you are in the subway or at offices or coffee shops. Yeah, so our app is very suitable for those different environments, and mobile is so important, and with the application of 5G more and more widely, and we believe it will getting more and more important for our business. So speaking of business strategy, I think we will continue to polish our products for better user experience on mobiles.
Understood. Very interesting. I think the whole ecosystem is coming to support mobile in here. Arian, your thoughts on mobile? Would love to hear your thoughts there as well.
Yeah, in the Philippines specifically, we have about 65% of a smartphone penetration. So it's very critical for us. And Viu developed a mobile-first strategy from the get-go. At that time, when we had big international and even some regional players first in the market, they went very much on the connected TV route. Viu was really one of the first to go straight to mobile. If you think about the relationship that our users have, they're actually, as a K-drama fan, they have the relationship with their phone, right? Mobile, they're at home, usually on their bed. It's usually a female with her headphones in. She has the phone so close to her heart, right? She's falling in love with what she's watching on TV, but she's holding her phone. Her phone is the vehicle to her love life, essentially, to put it there. So in terms of how we develop our product, everything is correlated with that experience, starting from content to the way that we stream the content. And it even translates into the type of partnerships we make in market. Knowing that most of our users are watching our content from their phones, it's important that we work with the top telcos in the Philippines and the top mobile providers in the Philippines. We offer data packs with generous mobile data subsidies, and even sometimes free Viu Premium subscriptions to encourage people to try, right? And this is really empowering for those mobile users, because historically, or even until now, we're still fighting time, right? Everybody's on their phone, either doing Facebook, YouTube, but really with the partnerships we've had and the relationships we've built with our audience, the mobile phone has been that vehicle.
Lovely, super interesting. Yet again, thanks, Arian, for sharing your thoughts in here. As we move forward, now we understand that consumers have actually moved to OTT. Vast amount of the consumption is happening on mobile. Mobile is right at the center of it. Let's also talk about the opportunity at hand here, right? Would be great to understand how are you working with advertisers to leverage the opportunity? And I genuinely believe this opportunity actually is quite huge, isn't it? By some estimates in a recent report, a significant number of viewers are willing to actually have ad experiences on OTT platforms in exchange of viewership. Would love to have your thoughts on this opportunity piece, on how you're tapping it and helping advertisers reach out to those consumers who are increasingly, consuming content on OTT on their mobile phones. Arian, would love to hear your thoughts on this one first.
OTT has great potential for the growth, especially in the Southeast Asia. If taking the mainland China for reference, we believe we will make a big progress in Southeast Asia, and we want to leverage our advantages like premium content to work with other parties to drive more values, such as like premium content or behavior data, which is generated by our algorithm, and we are very open to work with other parties to customize this behavior data to drive more value.
Super interesting. Arian, your thoughts?
Yeah, at Viu, we have always been strategic about our approach to content, and our content acquisition and Viu Originals are really based on data insights, behavior clustering, and we use rich metadata, actually, which has really served us well when it comes to working with advertisers. Using this data, we have worked with actually Google machine learning to offer contextualized targeting. So through products, what we call InView, It's an algorithm-based product in which we find the top scenes. So for example, a kissing scene, right? We might work closely with a lipstick brand or a toothpaste brand, right? To find the top kissing scenes, which are very iconic in K-dramas. And once that kissing scene happens, their ad will pop up in the show itself. So this has been really amazing for us, and how we've been able to integrate advertising into our shows without being very distracting or violating the user experience. We also have our Viu originals, right? So we have worked with advertisers to really drive that emotional connection deeper than just an ad, so they can be embedded into and organically into our Viu original shows.
Lovely. That's super, super duper interesting. I have a follow-up question here. Would love to understand and can't stop myself from asking here. How has your partnership with InMobi helped in this regard? At InMobi, at our end, we have witnessed almost 2 to 3x growth in ad spends. Would love to hear your thoughts, Emily, and how you have seen your partnership with InMobi helping you here.
Yeah, I'm really happy because we have a very close partnership, and our partnership just starts from last year. And InMobi will help us to get the high revenue, like 2.5x for revenue. It's really a great result. So I want to say thank you InMobi team and Subhansu and Abrahai or all of the team to always support me, to always give me some opinion about how we can do it, how we can optimize it for get the KPI of campaign. So that's why we always follow the KPI like viewability, VTR or something. So that's why we can get a lot of good results. So I wish we can keep the partnership and get the more high value in the new year in 2021.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Emily, and I'll make sure that I pass on the compliment to the team as well. Lovely. Arian, would love to hear your thoughts on how the partnership with InMobi has evolved, and it has become really strong over the many quarters that we have worked very closely together. Your thoughts?
Yeah, InMobi, you guys have established an awesome network around the region, and I have to give it to you. Your team works with many brands to really understand the behavior of their consumers and understanding the right segments, right? Once you guys have identified this with your brands, you have no problem connecting them with the right audience. And typically that audience is us. Providing them with that quality audience allows us to showcase the amount of engagement, and with those tools that you guys are offering to your brands and our quality audience, typically that leads to higher return on their marketing campaigns and advertisers.
Lovely to hear that, Arian. Thank you so much for your kind words as well. Andy, would love to hear your thoughts as well. Partnership with InMobi has been great. I know that. Over to you.
Yeah, we made a great progress in the past months. Not only the revenue growth, but also the business relationship we built. I also want to take this opportunity to express my thanks to InMobi. Like you guys, we are newcomer. We are not very familiar with the outside of China. So, but you guys give us a lot of information and very great suggestions about some advertising formats, some transaction types, which did help us. Yeah, so I want to express my thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andy, Arian, Emily, for your trust and partnership. We are truly humbled by your kind words. Moving on to a phenomena which is happening within this phenomena, which is connected TV or CTV as we call it. My question here is that, is CTV gaining momentum to become mainstream, Or do you think it is more of a distant future in Southeast Asia? Some of the reports are suggesting that only 29% of content is seen on CTV versus say close to 65 to 70% in North America. So of course, there's a lot of room to grow, and there are of course exciting times ahead. So we'd love to hear your perspective on CTV as well. Andy, your thoughts on connected TV and the growth that you're observing on the connected TV front?
Oh yes, yeah, CTV. The percentage of CTV is not a higher number so far, but the growth is very fast. And if taking the mainland China for reference, we believe the CTV will become mainstream in Southeast Asia in the coming few years, because in China, CTV has already contributed over half of total video views. And so we believe CTV will be the next power for the growth. I mean, more and more users will transfer to connected TV from traditional TV, as CTV has a lot of advantages compared with traditional TV.
Definitely. Could not agree more here. Exciting times ahead, isn't it? Arian, your thoughts on connected TV and the strides that Viu is making on that front?
Yeah, actually, so this morning I was researching a little bit more in the Philippines and what's going on, and I turned to Lazada and I just searched smart TV, right? And I wanted to see what was the price now. And I was surprised to see that there are smart TVs out there for as low as, well, 3,000 pesos in the Philippines, which is about 60 USD. So actually, if you think about it, connected TVs are actually more affordable than mobile phones, which is interesting because that makes it accessible to be in every home. And we're seeing in the Philippines, the biggest challenge with the connected TV is the connected part, right? They're not connecting to internet. So they might have a smart TV at home, but they're not necessarily connecting it to their broadband and utilizing it the way that it is used in North America or maybe even in China. And I think some of those challenges are largely driven because of infrastructure, right? Broadband is expensive, essentially, but we are seeing an increase in prepaid broadband devices with the rollout of 5G from our networks here. Are expecting to feel more of that, and people connecting their TVs actually to the internet and using them properly. So I think there is some time as infrastructure starts to grow as well, or the internet, the 5G and the prepaid devices. We'll start seeing more of that in the future.
True. Over to you, Emily. I think when it comes to connected TV, Vietnam stands out, and within that, FPT Play definitely stands out, and we have been working together on that front too. Would love to hear a bit more from you on the connected TV front at FPT Play.
Yeah, I think PPP is gaining momentum to become mainstream now. In the past, when we want to watch movie, right? We need to depend on what time they broadcast, and we need to have couple. But now internet is developing over the world, so we just need a smart TV and internet connection, so we can watch all over the world. And I think the smart TV is a necessary thing to connect every member of family in the dining time after working day. And my key selling point is about the smart TV, and we install application FPT Play on all of the big brand about the CTV, about smart TV, and we have more than 2 million impression per day for inventory. So I think the different thing of FPT Play, we have inventory on smart TV, and I really want we can have partnership on smart TV in this year. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, great to hear different perspective on how connected TV is up and coming in certain, markets, and it has already arrived big time in certain others. So great to hear your perspective. Now, with this, of course, we know that there are exciting times ahead. Now, that brings me to the last question of this session. And I would like to ask our panelists here, what are the top 3 trends that you are looking forward to within the OTT spend in 2021? Aryan, your thoughts on the 3 trends that you're very keenly looking forward to this year?
One, I'm very interested to see more of a healthy competition in the OTT space. I mean, while viewers have demonstrated their appetite for online viewing and are really flocking to OTT, we still have to work together as an industry to fight piracy. It's such a challenge, right? When we lose our users to these pirating sites, the ecosystem dies, right? And so we just want to make sure that our resources, our creativity, our entire pipeline is supported. Quality productions are still maintained in the sustainability of the industry as a whole. The other areas that I'm excited for are tailored ads for OTT. So typically in the past, we've seen just people either just taking their TV commercials or their Facebook ads or their YouTube ads and just plopping them over, expecting the same results. While we do exceed most of those benchmarks, again, as a user, you're more accepting to watch ads. Why not entertain them, right? Why not move them or, start a conversation with your ad instead of, a quick six seconder or 15 seconds. Really want to create. I mean, my dream is to have almost every ad on the Viu platform to move you like a Super Bowl ad, right? That would be the best experience. So hoping for more and more advertisers to really get their creative juices flowing. The other area that we're excited to continue is production. For the last year and a half, we've had lots of challenges with the global pandemic in production, and we really want to resume those schedules this year, of course, with safety protocols in place, protecting our teams, the cast, the crew, and continuing to provide opportunities for those jobs in the production industry. I think they've been hit very hard, and we really need to support them.
Absolutely. I hope things turn around on that front. And on the tailored advertisements, definitely we'll be working closely together to make sure that advertisers take notice of that and start working towards that. Andy, your thoughts on the top 3 trends that you are excited about in 2021?
Yeah, Arena just talked about more the trends about the industry, but I prefer to talk about the top 3 trends that we expect to happen on IQIYI International this year. And the first trend is we expect to achieve an outstanding user growth. If we want to be the leading video platform concentrating on Asia content, we still need to speed up our user growth by leveraging our premium content. Yeah, this is the first trend we expect to achieve. And the second trend is more PMP dues. And we want to work with InMobi to help us drive more PMP dues. Its eCPM is much higher than OA. And currently, OA occupies the majority of our total revenue. So we want to make a change and work closely with InMobi. And the last trend is content marketing. Yes, content marketing. I know this is a programmatic topic, but I still want to talk about content marketing as it's quite important for IQIYI International. We give a very high potential expectation on this. Content marketing is not only about the logo placements during the campaign period, but also the need to establish the connection, emotional connection between with users, and this emotion indeed induced memories will make deeper and positive impressions for our users. So it's very helpful for building and establishing brand awareness. So content marketing has already contributed over half of our advertising revenue in China, and we want to make it happen in Southeast Asia again by leveraging our premier content.
Lovely. Thank you for that, Andy. And I think great to hear different perspectives. And I think there are still a lot of common themes emerging here. Very curated premium content for the consumers, very curated set of advertisements for those consumers as well. Now, this brings us towards the end of a very, very interesting chat with our esteemed panelists. Thank you so much, Emily, Andy, Ariane, for your time. I thoroughly enjoyed our sessions today. As for our viewers, I'll leave them with the thought that as consumers are shifting their content consumption patterns and preferences towards online, more so on mobile, advertisers must look at new ways to follow them. And OTT as an opportunity is right at the top of that stack. So that's the thought I'll leave with our viewers. With that, it's time to say goodbye. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Thank you so much.